Hey folks, I'm Troy and you're watching TroyTube. Today we're going to make a little sign and we're going to put some Dollar Tree vinyl to the test. So we're going to make this little sign for our screened in front porch down here in Florida. We have just a little screened in area, and sometimes when we're on our way down I'll order some stuff from Amazon or somewhere, and I try to time it. Inevitably it'll get here before we do for some reason. We find out for some reason we'll order things and it'll say 4 or 5 days, sometimes maybe 2 days. And I mean, one night I ordered something at like 5 o'clock on a Sunday evening, and it was supposed to be here like Wednesday, and it showed up at 11 o'clock Monday morning. It's crazy. Anyway, so stuff will get here before us, and they don't always put it inside the screen porch. So my neighbors, kind, super wonderful neighbors, will get our stuff and put it inside the screen porch for us. So I picked up this little galvanized sign at Dollar Tree that we're going to put on the front porch. I'm going to actually take this little string off. There's nowhere to hang it. I don't want to really put a screw in the little aluminum frame. All it is an aluminum frame with a screen door, and actually a double screen door, and screens, so there's nowhere to hang it. So I actually bought these super strong magnets. I'll show you what I want to do with that a little bit later on. We'll use that to hold it onto the screen and prop it up there. But we're going to put Dollar Tree vinyl on this, and this is really going to put this to the test. The Dollar Tree vinyl is, it's some pretty cheap vinyl, honestly. It's of course made in China, and I'm pretty sure it's just a cheap monomeric vinyl film, PVC film. When you look at it, I've already cut a couple pieces off of this, so the corners of it are chopped up a little bit. But if you look at it, just already, before I bought it, it had already shrunk quite a bit around the edges. And that's usually a sign of a really, really low-grade monomeric film when it is shrinking that much already. Sometimes I have some vinyl that I've just let it set for, gosh, I've got some probably 5 or 6 years old, and you see this kind of shrinkage on that after 5-6 years. But this is brand new. I just bought this a few weeks ago at Dollar Tree just to see what it was like, and it's already shrinking that much. Now this is really going to be a strong test for this stuff because it's going to be on the front, which is directly east facing on our condo, and so for 3 or 4 hours almost every day it is hit with Florida sun. So we're going to see how fast it shrinks and cracks and peels or whatever off this little piece of galvanized metal sign. So we'll put this in the Cricut. I've played with it a little bit, cut and weeded and played with it a little bit already. Seems to cut and weed okay. I've had some people make comments about how thin it is. I think it's a 3mm film. I don't think the film itself, the release liner, the paper backing is pretty thin. But we'll put it in. We'll cut the little sign and put it on the galvanized sign and see how it turns out. We'll put it on the front. We're going to be down here all summer, and we'll see how long this stuff lasts in the Florida sun. Okay, so I've measured this sign, and I've got about a 7 by 3 inch area that I want my letter sizing to be for the sign, and then there's that little hump at the top of the sign, so I'm going to use that area as well. So we're going to use milkshake for the word deliveries, but then I'm going to change for other words. We're going to use something a little more basic. So we're going to use the word deliveries, and we'll make it about the full 7 inches wide. And then we'll insert the word text, and I'm going to use the Arial font. And we're going to make it bold so it's a little easier to work with. Please. And then we'll make that word a little smaller. I know it's about a 3 inch by 1 inch area that I have to place that in. And again. And I'm going to hit Control D and duplicate that and just edit my text here. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this up a little bit here. I'm going to put the words all together here. So I want this the same size. So I'm going to get rid of those words at the top, and we'll put that all together down here so that the please place all and inside the screen porch is the same size letters. And then we'll center this, line center horizontally. We'll see how big that is. 7 inches by 2.7, and that's a pretty good size. And now I'm going to, instead of putting words in that little hump that's at the top of the sign, I'm going to insert a graphic up there. So we're going to go to Images, and we're going to search for a delivery truck in Cricut Access. See if we can find a good image for a delivery truck. I think this one up here looks pretty good. Add to canvas. And I don't think all these little tiny cuts will come through very clean, so we're going to contour some of those out. Let's click the contour button, and we'll hide these cuts. Maybe hide the outside of that. See what that looks like. Yeah, that looks a little better. I think these will cut better. These little thin lines probably wouldn't come out very well, but I still get the sense that that's a delivery truck, I think. And now we will align all of that and do a little center horizontally again. And then I'm just going to go ahead and weld all of this. Shouldn't have to weld it, but just in case I had any overlapping parts there. You know, with current fonts now, you don't have to weld them. It should take care of all of that automatically now in Design Space, but just went ahead and welded that. Now I'm going to go ahead and click Make It. We'll cut this, like I said, with the Dollar Tree vinyl, and we're going to put this to the test and see how well it lasts here in the Florida sun. Like I said, it gets hit by Florida sun almost every day for 3 or 4 hours in the mornings, and we'll see how this turns out. I'm going to just cut it on premium vinyl. I think it cuts okay with premium vinyl with default pressure, and like always, I'll just save you the pain of watching it cut and weed. And then we'll come back and I'll show you on camera applying the vinyl to the sign, and then we'll go down and put it on the front porch and see what it looks like. All right, so I've cut and weeded the design, and it probably maybe should have put more pressure. I used default pressure. It did cut okay. I'm not sure if it would have helped any or not. It seems like the vinyl isn't adhered to the release liner, the backing, very well, because I did have a lot of shifting as I weeded things, and it just doesn't seem like the vinyl is adhered to the release liner well at all. It seems like it cut well, but even some of the letters just shifted around. I straightened them up the best I can. I don't know if you can tell on camera. Some of them might be still a little bit crooked, but yeah, another negative point for that. Just not real happy with the handling of that. But I've already cut the string off the sign, so we'll clean it with rubbing alcohol and give it a second to dry. Always good to rub the surface down with rubbing alcohol. Get rid of any oils or dusts. We'll put a piece of transfer tape down. I usually, on something a little bit larger like this, put it face up, and then put the design face down. Use my squeegee to just lightly press it down. Same thing, it should just take light swipes for your squeegee to adhere the transfer tape. You don't want to rub it too hard. The adhesive, I've said this many times, the adhesive is pressure sensitive. So when you burnish really hard, you can actually activate the adhesive and adhere the vinyl to the release liner, and you do not want to do that. So now we should be able to remove that pretty cleanly. We'll apply it to our sign. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this for centering and straightness. No big deal here. Nothing fancy. So once I get it started, just take my squeegee and gradually apply it. And you'll see that by doing so, I won't have any air bubbles by doing it that way. when we remove the transfer tape, we roll it back against stuff like that. You don't want to pull it away because that will cause air bubbles. Got one little air bubble right there, it looks like. And that'll leave on its own once it hits the sun. So no big deal. Otherwise, no air bubbles, just got that one little tiny one right there. So sign is ready. We'll go put it on the front door and see how it looks. Again, I'm going to use those super strong magnets to adhere it through the screen. All right, so problem solved, at least temporarily. We'll just see if that vinyl lasts on that little sign out of here in the Florida sun or not. Put the screen there, as you see on the video. Put the sign on the front of the screen. Use those super strong magnets and put it behind the screen. And I use that little crossbar to keep it from sliding down. I'm sure gravity, if I put it up higher, gravity would eventually cause that to slide down, but it should stay put where it's at now. Today is April 25th. So we'll see how long that thing lasts. The sun is getting pretty intense down here in Florida. It's actually started to get intense about 30-40 days ago. We were in the pool last month when it was still wintertime down here, but the sun hits that, like I said, good 3 or 4 hours every morning down here. The sun's super intense. That vinyl, I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely a very cheap grade vinyl. I was playing around with some of it. It does have some stretch to it. Let me grab a piece of it here real quick. And like I said, it's that shrinkage all the way around the edges tells me that it's a really, really low grade PVC film. It does seem to have quite a bit of stretch to it, which that's not typical for a monomeric film. Usually monomeric film has a real like paper feel to it, and it tears when you try to stretch it pretty easily. This does have some stretch to it, so maybe it is a polymeric film, and maybe it's just a really, really low grade polymeric film. I don't know, but definitely that kind of shrinking, when it's new like that, is not good at all. That's usually a really poor indicator of the quality of the film. So we'll see how long it lasts. I'll come back, I'll do another video when I notice, if it's starting to peel or crack or something, and let you know how long it lasts out there. The stuff might be okay for quick little things if you need to make something for a kid's party or something that's going to be a temporary decoration or something like that. I don't know how long it's going to last out there in that sun and out in the elements, but we'll see. And I'll report back to you. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below the video.